So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ayan, I'm here again sa aking channel and I hope that wherever you are right now, you're great. And today, gusto ko lang i-vlog about stress. You know, stress is something that is universal. It's something that is generic na parang everybody gets stressed. And the bad news is that if you are not stressed right now, you're going to be stressed in the future. So that is something that is unavoidable, something that is inevitable, something that will um, be experienced by every human being in this planet. And wala lang, I just want to share my experience on stress and how I cope with it. So yon, I think that the bad news kasi is, alam mo yun, parang you're gonna have it, you're going to experience it kung hindi ka you're going to be stressed, you're going to be stressed in the future. And the good news naman is there's always a way to cope up with it. So you may not always find the solution right away to that problem, but definitely you will find a way to cope with it. You will find a way to cope with the fact that you don't have the solution to that problem, kung ano man yun. So, it's easier said than done, di ba? Pero yun nga, there's a way, there's kind of mindset, or there's like parang you can find your own strategy, your own way of surviving eh, despite dun sa turmoil na pinagdadaanan mo. But, yun nga. Anyway, yun nga, for the past few days kasi medyo, I feel stressed. I don't know why. So, yun lang, parang, dahil dyan, kaya, parang, nag-vlog ako kasi I just want to share nga, baka may matulungan ako. Anyway, ang sa akin lang is, um, people will always have their own opinion about stress. And our friends, our relatives, the people we love, the people who care about, who care for us also have their own advice kung paano natin i-manage yung stress natin. And I think that the first way of really coping with it is not to, you know, overdo something, or not to overdo something. Like if there's like a stream, or parang on this spectrum, sometimes we overdo things, we overthink things. So sometimes I think we just need to take a rest. At the same time, meron din mga tao na stressed, or they have this like high level of anxiety because they're on this opposite side na parang they're bored with their life, na wala silang pinagkakaabalahan, na parang like for example, I'm not saying na lahat sila, but like sa US, maraming nakikita ko sa YouTube na nasa-stress sila, nade-depress daw sila, na naisip ko, ang dami naman kayong subscribers, or parang wala kayong pinagkakaabalahan. I mean, you have a big house, kompleto yung bahay nyo, I mean, your family is complete, it's just that wala ka lang sigurong stable career and then nade-depress ka na. But you know, pa YouTube ka everyday, you're uploading videos, you're a vlogger, and then you get depressed. Or may mga tao na parang, you know, they're privileged, they have all these resources, but they're still depressed. So I think that there's really parang a need for you to balance everything out, na parang you can't be too stressed, na parang you're spreading yourself too thin with so many things, kaya ka nasi-stress. At the same time, pwedeng nabobore ka or wala kang parang something meaningful or productive na pinagkakaabalahan sa buhay. So sometimes, you know, people will say na, baka ka-stress kasi dahil wala ka masyadong iniisip, parang, ano, parang you should really parang be busy about something. But what if you're already stressed with so many things, you're thinking about so many things, and the only solution is for you to really, you know, get away from it and find time for yourself. So I think that, you know, when people give you this opinion, just you cannot like take it seriously, or parang yun na agad yung susundin mo. You just have to take it with a grain of salt and see for yourself kung saang area ng buhay mo na you're parang overworking too much, or maybe needs more attention. So I think that people say things out of good intention, or you know, parang bibigay nila sa iyo kung ano yung parang akma sa buhay nila. But like for example, today I'm giving this advice para sa iyo, but you know, it's still you who will decide for yourself, 'di ba? Sabi nga ni Jim Rohn, or I don't know kung meron din lang siyang finalo na iba, sabi niya parang whatever decision that you make or you choose, it should be a product of your own conclusion. It should not come from somebody else na magsasabi sa iyo na kung anong gagawin mo. So, yun yung impression ko sa stress, na parang you have to find that balance between two opposing forces. So, parang kunyari, parang, you know, for example, a single mom na, ang dami niyang anak na binubuhay, syempre stress din talaga siya. But I think that for her, she has to find time for herself to really recharge and regain and to be able to find herself again. Or if you're somebody naman na pwedeng wala kang trabaho, di ba? Or you're searching for a job, pero wala kang mahanap na trabaho, then I think you should like parang start vlogging or start searching for meaningful things, start volunteering, or, start sending resumes. Or if wala kang work, maybe you find something na pwede mo pagkaabalahan sa bahay, yung pwede mo i-contribute sa family mo, yung ganon. So, stress could actually mean na may kulang or sobra sa isang bagay. You just have to find that balance in between. So, maybe you will not be able to achieve it, but at least you have that goal of achieving it. So, yun yung perception ko sa stress. Like, for example, ako, parang lately I've been thinking too much na parang I shouldn't really be stressed the way I'm feeling stressed. Pero, alam mo yun, I'm allowing myself to feel that way. So, oh my God, I have less time na pala mag-vlog. So, yun yung first na ano ko, there ought to be some sort of balance. You can't just be like, your goal in life shouldn't really be like, parang sana pagdating ng panahon, marami na akong pera, hihiga na lang ako, di ba? Magbi-beach na lang ako, or mag-iikot na lang ako sa buong mundo. I think if that will be your goal, yun na talaga yung parang pinaka main goal mo, I think that um, you'll never be happy. Kasi when that time comes, feeling ko mabobore ka rin. Di ba? Parang, you can't like, parang your goal shouldn't be na parang totally wala kang gawin. So, yun. Um, yeah, there ought to be balance. You can't like search for always the comfort. There ought to be a balance on how you juggle your everyday responsibilities, between your responsibilities and at the same time taking care of yourself. And second is, I think that you shouldn't really, allow worry to overwhelm you. Like ako kasi, di ba, lately nga, pinakita ko sa last video, I had this exam. Sorry din sa construction sa labas. I had this exam sa work ko, yung basta yung pinakita ko yung book, and I felt stressed kasi nga before, like, we were given like a month or 3 weeks to prepare. But then, this week lang, yun nga, before that exam, this year, they just gave me that notice almost 5 days or 1 week before the exam. So, you could just imagine yung anxiety ko, yung stress ko, na parang I have to cut out some of the things, some things that I used to do, kailangan ko i-cut just to focus on that. At the same time, nag-worry ako kasi nga naman, syempre, paano kung di ako pumasa? Diba? Nakaka-stress yun. But, worry is normal. It's just natural for us to worry. Kasi 'di ba, yung mga panahon nga noon, yung mga unang panahon like 100,000 years ago, the earliest humans, they were worried na parang kapag if they don't migrate, 'di ba, pwede silang they could die dun sa snow, or they could be killed by these wild animals. So for them, they're worried, they are stressed. So what they do, they move in packs, they move to other continents, they walk around, and then they survive. Kumbaga, stress is part of like survival, and so worry is part of survival. But at the same time, nowadays, I don't think that it should really be overwhelming to the point na, you make decisions um, out of worry. Kasi you should really attend to things in a matter of fact way na, when there's something to be done, you have to attend to it. You really have to focus on it. But, to allow worry, merong emotion doon na nakasali eh. And when emotion is there, alam mo yun, physiologically, nagre-react ka in a negative way. Like, you release cortisol, adrenaline, and then it increases your blood pressure. And, eventually, sa immediate, walang problema doon eh. It makes you like have this fight or flight response. But in the long run, if you allow it to stay there, these hormones that release, it will like parang trigger your immune system to weaken. So speaking of immune system, I'm going to talk about it later. So yun, I think that if worry is there, you should really have that conscious effort to fight against it. And you have to deal with things in a matter of fact way as much as possible. Do things in a more objective way and not be too subjective, na parang if there's a big problem that's coming up, na parang na-overwhelm ka na agad yung emotion mo, na parang diba, parang ano ba naman buhay ito, diba, parang ayoko na, ganyan. So I'm speaking for myself as well. I think that this is a lecture for myself. It's like I just imagine nasa mirror ako and I'm saying this to myself because I also need this. So yun, I think worry is something that worry kills. So if you don't really fight against it, mahirapan ka. So yun. And the third is, speaking of which, fighting against worry. I think that you have to like gain that inner strength within you. Like lately, um, I felt like parang I just wanted to stay in bed, di ba? Parang I'm thinking so much. I think I overthink and I'm just overwhelmed with so many things na parang I shouldn't be that overwhelmed naman talaga. And, you know, it came to a point na ang dami kong iniisip. I'm just spreading myself too thin, I think. And I'm not really taking good care of myself anymore, to the point na pagising ko every morning, I just feel like lying down. I just don't feel like waking up. And eventually, na parang nakita ko, pumayat ako. Like, literally pumayat ako, and then I saw myself in the mirror. Parang, okay to, parang pumayat ako, that's good. But I lost that energy. I lost that, I lost that, parang, naman grit. Some sort of like, yeah, grit. I lost that energy to like get up and do the things that I used to do. And then, eventually, I felt like literally weak. And then I developed this rash sa legs ko, and I thought it was an insect bite. And then I went to the doctor yesterday, and he diagnosed me as having this herpes zoster. So herpes zoster is a viral disease, and I asked him ano ba talaga yung pinaka main cause, and then he told me na weak yung immune system ko. And na-realize ko na parang sometimes our immune response, yung immune system natin nag-weaken because of how we deal with things. Like, if you're weak, of course, if you're feeling weak, you don't have the energy, parang ayaw mo nang, hindi ka na, you will not take care of yourself. Like, it's a domino effect na parang, ayoko na lang, hindi ko na alagaan sarili ko. And I felt bad doing that to myself. And the fact that I felt bad doing it, na parang lalo kong, like, all the more that I feel guilty, and then parang sa spiral down na ako. And then it led to this. It is painful like rash on one side of the body. And herpes zoster, hindi po herpes simplex, because that is a sexually transmitted disease. So, it's a sexually transmitted disease. So, it's not herpes simplex, it's herpes zoster. So, nagka-chicken pox na ako nung bata ako. So, parang na ano lang siya, kumbaga parang it's like round 2. But although already in an adult sa adult, ano na sila, kumbaga, yung dating bata na biniktima ng chickenpox, ngayon matanda na, andun pa rin sila. So anyway, sabi ng doctor, pagaling na daw ako, and I asked for an antiviral drug, and he told me it's not gonna be useful anymore kasi pagaling na ako. And I just realized na parang for the past few days, hindi ko yata inaalagaan yung katawan ko, and I'm just feeling stressed, and I'm allowing stress to overcome me. And I just received a message from my mom na sabi niya, ano ba yan? Ano ba yung na acquire mo? Parang you should like be strong. You should be strong. And said, I realized na parang, yeah, I should be strong. I should be strong. And like literally, physically, emotionally. Kasi like if you're like, how do you do it? Like you exercise, di ba? Parang you feed your mind with good thoughts. Diba? If you're allowing it to weaken you, if you're allowing life to really throw its rocks on you, you're going to um, you're going to get weak. And mentally, emotionally, if you're weak, eventually your body will follow. So I think it's really, there's some sort of a big, like a deep connection between your soul and your body. So it all begins in the mind and in your heart, and you tell yourself that I have to be strong, especially for OFWs, for an OFW like me, for a nurse like me, and my job is really stressful, and I have to like find time for myself to regain my strength. Parang charger ng phone, di ba? Like I said sa dati kong videos, you should really be finding that inner strength within you to fight and not allow yourself to be defeated. So I don't know how you're gonna find it. Maybe through exercise or eating the right way. You should eat the amount of food na kailangan ng katawan mo na nare-replenish. Take your vitamins, di ba? Take your vitamins. Read good books. If you feed your mind with gossip and entertainment, I don't think you're gonna get any value from that, di ba? Ikakos lang yung inggit sa mga artista na parang buti pa sila, ganyan. And then you're gonna compare your life to theirs. So I don't think that's logical. So, and I think, yun, I think those are the solutions. Actually, kaninang umaga pagising ko, I just feel like sleeping. Yung katawan ko gusto niya matulog, but yung mind ko, it's like tumatakbo talaga siya. Na parang nagvo-vlog siya na sarili niya. So I stood up and sorry low bat. I stood up and I took this book. Sabi ko, sige, dahil wala pa namang naisip gawin, I got this book. I bought this last week. The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. Ang ganda tong book. And then, wala lang, siguro parang God is telling me something na parang sabi niya, sabi dito sa book, sabi niya, action isn't just the effect of motivation, it's also the cause of it. So most of us commit to action only if we feel a certain level of motivation. And if we feel motivation only when we feel enough emotional inspiration, we assume that these steps occur in a sort of chain reaction like this. So ganito siya. Lagi natin sinasabi na parang emotional inspiration, kailangan, kumbaga, explain ko lang, like parang you're waiting for an emotion or a motivation for you to really make that action. But instead, he's telling na parang, the first step is to do something kapag ka you feel demotivated. That something, kung ano man daw yung gagawin mo, that something can be the smallest viable action towards something else. It can be anything. And then eventually, when you take action, eventually you're gonna get that momentum and then you're gonna have motivation. So, yun. So, you have to take action. So, hindi, kaya kanina, so sabi ko, okay, I read this book na, natapos na ako, I stood up, parang that gave me the motivation, alam yun. But I still acted. I opened the book, I read it, and then, tumayo ako, and then I fixed my bed, inayos ko lahat, and then I planned ahead, I wrote again in my planner, which I didn't do for like a week. So, tapos yung mga task, inuna ko yung mga dapat kong gawin talaga. And then eventually, ayun, nag-gain ko na tong lakas ko ulit. And there's really nothing to accomplish kapag ka nakahilata lang ako, nothing will happen to me kapag ka ganyan. So I really stood up, took action. So I think that you really have to take action. And you don't allow yourself to just lie down on bed and do nothing. And diba, sabi nga nila, an empty mind or an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So kapag ka nakahiga ka lang, wala kang pinagkakaabalahan, kapag ka, alam mo yun, you're not doing something productive, then eventually you're going to think of negative thoughts. And that is like, that is default setting ng isip ng tao. Yeah. And I think it's also good that we find a good book na parang whatever it is that you feed your mind, eventually it's gonna get stuck up there, di ba? And so if you read na parang puro gossip, entertainment, if you keep on watching, entertaining channel, okay lang naman yun, but, garbage in, garbage out, whatever it is that you put inside your mind, eventually yun din ilalabas mo. So, ayun lang, I think these are the things that are helping me right now. Like nowadays, I need this. I'm trying to cope with stress, and yeah, there are other people who are there are other people who have bigger problems than mine, but it doesn't mean na mas mabigat yung problema nila. It doesn't mean na parang dapat na yung problema mo is you don't take it into consideration. So iba-iba yung problema, but it's how we view those problems. So, wag natin i-undermine yung mga tao na nagsasabi sila na I have this anxiety or I have this stress. We have to listen to them. And we just don't, at least sana, listen to them and don't just give advice na parang nagbibigay ka lang ng candy sa bata. Because sometimes it's not, kumbaga sa doctor, you're not just going to prescribe any other medicine. You have to diagnose first and see for yourself kung tama ba talaga yung ibibigay mong advice. Yan, if you really care for the person. So, yon. And I hope that kung nasi-stress ka man ngayon, I hope that you're able to cope well. I hope that, you find the resources to help you, like good friends, trusted friends, family members, and then get as much information as you can, but it's still you who will really decide. Like I said, diba? Like sabi nga ni Jim Rohn, whatever decision you make should be a product of your own conclusion. So, that's it. The first person you should prioritize is yourself. So, meditate, pray, and papasok na ako. I hope that you find this video valuable. Before I end this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel i-click mo na rin yung like button kung nagustuhan mo, and to click the bell button to get more updated. And I hope that I have inspired you, or somehow ay may napulot kang maganda sa video na to. And this is like catharsis for me. Vlogging is one of the things that could, vlogging is like my diary. Although I don't have to say everything here, I don't have to give like TMI, too much information, but it it consoles me. It makes my heart lighter. I did it. And that's it. Take care, God bless, and be happy, and love you. Bye.